Welcome to Dutch Oven Series Episode 4. Someone asked me for green moong dal recipe and here you have it with our pressure cooker. I mean, you wouldn't even know that this is moong dal until I tell you. And this will be a little fancy recipe just to impress your guest, but that doesn't mean that you cannot make it for yourself. Because I'm going to make it simple and healthy so you can eat it almost every day. You just have to make a few small changes, then you can eat this dal every day if you're a dal lover like me. Let's make this dal makhani style simple moong dal recipe. Here I soaked a cup of green moong dal with 1/4 cup of rajma in water for overnight. So as you can see, these are not urad dal, these are moong dal, but it's going to taste exactly like dal makhani. So it's heading towards dal makhani, but you'll not be exact dal makhani. To cook this dal, I used a Dutch oven. I added 3 cups water and a required amount of salt, and I covered it and put it in the oven for almost an hour. You can let it cook in the oven and do your stuff. Like I went to the gym and after 1 hour I came back and checked on my dal. So you don't have to keep an eye on this dal. That's the beauty of cooking in Dutch oven. You set the temperature at 350, put it for 1 hour and you leave. And after 1 hour when I came back, so dal was perfectly cooked. You can see, you might think the dal is very watery, but don't worry about it. The end result will be thick and nice dal. So we are going to mash it with a masher if you have it. I don't have a masher, so what I did, I used the hand blender, but I didn't connect it to the electricity. I just mashed it, like press and twist. So this is how you can break the dal, and slowly the dal will turn thick and creamy. You might have to repeat this process for 1 to 2 minutes and your dal will become creamy and thick. I did this for a minute. You can also connect it to electricity and just blend it for, I would say, like 10-15 seconds. That will also do the job. So I'm letting it boil while I make the tarka ready. So the tarka will be on ghee. So I'm using 2 tablespoon ghee. You can also alternatively use any oil if you want. I put a bay leaf, and I'm not putting any whole spices because I'm using the powder here. So I added a tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste and a small tiny onion chopped very finely. I'm going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes on high until the onion becomes soft. Now I'm adding all the ground spices. So Kashmiri red chili 1 tablespoon, coriander powder 1 tablespoon, cumin powder 1 tablespoon, a little bit of hot chili. So Kashmiri red chili just for a nice color. That's why you could see the dal is so beautifully colored. And red chili just for a little heat. I don't want it to be so hot. And garam masala half teaspoon. So this is where you're going to add all the, instead of using the whole spices like cardamom, cloves and cinnamon, so I use this powder, so then I don't have to take the whole spices out after cooking. Now once they are cooked nicely, this time has to be on a low flame, otherwise your spices will burn. I added 2 tomatoes puree. So I blended 2 tomatoes, and then added the puree, and then I'm going to cook it for about like 5 to 6 minutes until I see the oil is separating. At this stage you can adjust your salt and sugar. Remember, we also added salt in the dal when it was boiling, and I recommend to add a little bit of sugar. This will balance the taste of everything, like your tomato, your salt and everything. It tastes really good. And you can see, the masalas are nicely cooked and the oil is separating. So at this moment I am just adding a little water to the blending pot where I blended the what do you call the tomatoes, and I'm adding like almost 1/3 cup of water to it, and this will make the gravy nice and smooth. And I'll let it cook slowly on a medium heat, and after 2 to 3 minutes you see the water is evaporated and the oil is separated and the gravy is very smooth. Now our dal is, look at the dal, and I was letting it cook on the stove while I was making the tarka, and it became more thick and creamy. Now I'm adding the tarka to the dal. Now you keep watching the magical transformation of the dal. So after adding the smooth tarka to the dal, we are going to mix it gently. So it was cooking slowly on the stove all the time I was making the tarka ready. and now slowly you can mix, and you can see the color is changing very nicely, and it is turning into a dal makhni color. And this is what we wanted. And it's not ready yet. We still have to follow a few steps before it's ready to eat. You can see along with the color of the dal, the texture is also changed after we added the seasoning, and like it looks very much like a dal makhni. No one can tell it's a moong dal, and trust me, once you make it, at this point you can throw away the bay leaf if you want to. And now I'm adding final ingredient, which is roasted fenugreek leaves, which is also known as kasuri methi. So I roasted them in a like dry pan. The heat has to be medium to low when you roast them, and once it cools down, you can just press it with your finger and it will turn into a powder. The roasted fenugreek leaf makes really big difference in the dal. If you want, you can add 50 grams butter and some whipping cream in this dal at this point, but we are going to keep it healthy for an everyday dal. So I'm going to cover it and leave it for 5 minutes on a medium heat. And after 5 minutes, once you open, it's boiling, and look, the dal is completely changed. All the spices and powder we added, it is infused in the dal, and now it looks even better and tastes really yummy. This is where we are making it different from a dal makhni, by not adding the butter and the cream, because it is good for everyday consumption. So far, if you think this is a helpful recipe and you like the dal, give me a like and do try this recipe. Let me know in the comment below. And if you want to request any more recipes, please mention in the comment. I would try to make it as soon as possible. And I'm a small creator, so I would really love and appreciate if you can like and follow my page and encourage me to make more recipes. Thank you.